What's going on, Kings fans? It's Tyler here, and today we have the first episode of the Sacktown Breakdown. There's some Kings Rocket stuff maybe popping off here, so I figured just make a video on it real quick. Let's cover it and just talk about it. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you give it a like and subscribe if you're new here to the channel. It'd be greatly appreciated. And follow me on Twitter at Tap2K43, and check out my other YouTube channel, Tap2K, if you want, but you don't gotta do that, because we're here talking about Sacramento Kings news. So let's get into it. If you guys actually take a look at my Twitter, you guys can see here, Sacramento trends. Clint Capela is trending. Let's find out why. Well, for starters, on the Wojnarowski Zach Lowe podcast that came out, I believe yesterday or Tuesday, either way, a day or two ago, they said that the Rockets were planning on trying to trade Capela, Eric Gordon, and PJ Tucker, all three of them, because they are trying to clear cap space to do a sign and trade with the Sixers to acquire Jimmy Butler. So basically, they're trying to get rid of their whole core they've played with the last couple of years and just bring in Jimmy Butler. Twitter notification, I have to check in case it's news. The Lakers are trading Mo Wagner, Isaac Bonga, and Jamario Jones to Wizards as part of Anthony Davis deal with New Orleans. Deal clears contracts and creates cap space for free agency. Well, that sucks, because I was hoping the Kings would trade a second round pick or two for Mo Wagner. So that's not happening now. Anthony Davis is waiving his $4 million trade kicker. We are breaking news live on this video. So, anyways, back to what I was talking about. The Kings have been linked to Capela, PJ Tucker, and Eric Gordon, who are trying to get rid of these contracts to do a sign and trade for Jimmy Butler. So if we head over to Carmichael Dave's Twitter, and I actually was not listening to the radio show today, so I hit the mic again, my bad. I wasn't listening to the radio show today, so I didn't hear this for myself, but Carmichael Dave said on Twitter that Sam Amick told him that the Rockets and Kings have had discussions recently. So eventually I'll listen to it when it gets put up on the podcast app. But he said the Rockets and Kings have had discussions recently. So the Kings and Rockets are discussing something. I don't know what it is. It could be PJ Tucker, it could be Clint Capela, it could be both. I would absolutely love PJ Tucker on the Kings. I would also wouldn't mind some Clint Capela. I think Clint Capela is a great fit. I'm going to go ahead and talk about that a little more. But before we get into that, I have one more little piece I think we need to get to here, and that's Matt George from KHTK, another radio guy. I'm not following him. I should follow him. He tweeted today that he's told by a source in Houston that the Celtics have significant interest in being the third team in a Rockets-Sixers trade. So basically, it would be, and then he speculated here, Boston, who has now emerged as a frontrunner for Kemba, will try to move in and acquire Clint Capela. So this could be a situation where I don't know what they would trade to the Sixers. Maybe a bunch of picks or something. Rockets trade a bunch of stuff to the Sixers. Basically, they trade Jimmy Butler to the Rockets, and the Rockets send Clint Capela to the Celtics, and the Kings get left out to dry. Now, with that being said, if the Kings can acquire PJ Tucker, that would be awesome. I would love PJ Tucker on the Kings. You guys have no idea. That would fill so many holes for us. Don't know if we're bringing Harrison Barnes back for sure or not, because the Kings also have been rumored to go after Tobias Harris and Corey Joseph, which Corey Joseph would be an amazing backup point guard. If we could get Corey Joseph, we need to get Corey Joseph. But let's stick with Clint Capela, PJ Tucker here. So let's look at contracts. So taking a look at the contracts here, I'm going to start off with Eric Gordon's. He is, at this point, going to be 30 years old. Next year, his contract will be expiring, which is actually, that'd be a good thing. But I don't want Eric Gordon. He doesn't really fit a role for us. How tall is he? I don't even know. Was he like 6'4", I think? I'm guessing, or 6'5". Basically, he's going to be almost in like the Bogdan role, or he's too short to play small forward, but we'd play him at small forward anyways. Wouldn't work. Don't want him. Pass. Done. Okay. That being said, it's kind of funny. It still lists Rob Pelinka as his agent. Okay, next, PJ Tucker. This man is on a hell of a deal. PJ Tucker is 34 years old. I thought he was like 30, which is kind of crazy. I don't know why I thought that. But he's 34 years old. He still brings defense to the table. He's still a hard-nosed, he's like one of those players that's like a dog, like Patrick Beverly and You know, he's in that mold, obviously. And he would fit so many roles for us. Small forward, power forward, off the bench, toughness, defense. And he's only making $8 million a year. His contract actually goes down next year. So, no, actually his contract goes up 8.3, then it goes down the following. But that would be amazing for us. I think PJ Tucker would be a hell of a fit. I don't know where that would leave us. Damn, Wojnarowski's going hard. Okay. I don't know where that would leave us in terms of cap space if we would get Harrison Barnes. I would take Harrison Barnes over PJ Tucker just because of the age. Now Harrison Barnes is going to be making a lot more money more than likely, so it's kind of a toss-up. Like, is it really worth paying him all that money? But age-wise, I'd hate for PJ Tucker to get hurt or something at that age and we'd be stuck with his contract. You know, because he's older. Harrison Barnes is younger, more athletic. So I'm not going to for sure say I want PJ Tucker, but if we got him somehow, I wouldn't be mad at it. I'll put it that way. Finally, Clint Capela. This is the guy the video is about. Clint Capela, he is making $14 million next year, 14.8, 16, 17, 18, respectively, all the way till 2022, 2023 is his last year. So the summer of 2023, he'll be a free agent, unrestricted. He'll be 29 years old at that point, so we're going to have him. I mean, I'm sure he'll get better over the next maybe 2 years, then that'll probably be the player he is. So, I mean, he's young. It'd be a nice contract for us when you look at it this way. There have been people reporting that Al Horford has a mystery max contract ready for him at midnight on July 1st. The one team they've excluded from that is the Pelicans. I would absolutely hate for that to be the Kings. I see lots of Kings fans on Twitter saying we should get Al Horford. We should get Al Horford. We should not by any means even think about getting Al Horford. He's 33 years old. He wants 4 years. The max contract is 4 years, $112 million. Let's do the math on that. It's going to be like, what, $28 million a year? 112 divided by 4. It'll be like $28 million a year. It'll probably start at like 33, maybe go to 31, and then maybe like, I don't know, 27 and 25 or something like that. That's just me doing the math off the top of my head. Basically, it'll start more expensive and probably get cheaper as the years go because he's going to be older then. I mean, that's how I would structure it, but it's just me. Al Horford, 33 years old, doesn't really fit our play style, and he's old. Why would we give him a max contract? Now, Steven Adams. We've been linked to him. There was reports that on draft night, the Kings traded for, or attempted to trade for the 23rd pick in the draft, which was the Thunders, and talked about Steven Adams. The same guy, Matt George, tweeted that he heard basically the Kings didn't want to give Bogdanovich in a trade for Steven Adams. So that tells me the Kings don't want to give much in a trade. Now, the Rockets are probably almost more desperate to trade Clint Capela than the Thunder are to trade Steven Adams. Clint Capela is making less, so we should be able to give even less to get him back. The other player, obviously, that's been rumored is Vucevic, and I do not want to give him the max money just because he's going to be 30 years old. He'll be 34, making like $30 million a year or something crazy like that. I just don't think it's worth it, to be honest. If we can trade for Clint Capela, that's our best option. Let me break it down. He's the cheapest of the four. He's younger than Vucevic and Horford and Steven Adams. Him and Steven Adams are actually about the same age. But he's cheaper, so he's cheaper than Steven Adams, Horford, and Vucevic. He's younger than Vucevic and Horford, same age as Steven Adams, and he fits our style better than Steven Adams and the other two do. He can catch lobs. He's more of a runner than Steven Adams is. Offensively, he may be kind of like one-sided, or not one-sided, but like a one-trick pony, like just catching lobs. It's not like he's got the post moves like Boogie. But we don't need that. We need somebody that does the things that Willie did. You know, he's not going to be the playmaker Willie was. Willie was a bit of a playmaker. Willie had a bit of a jump shot. This guy doesn't have that. But he's already got his money. We don't have to worry about him being upset about things. He's got what he wants, and he's got a big contract, and, you know, not to say that, like, he's going to be lazy because he got paid. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is he's got his money. He'll be traded. He'll have a fire under him. He'll want to succeed, and he'll be able to run with our guys better than, I think, Steven Adams, Vucevic, and Horford all combined. Now, Steven Adams, I think, is underrated. People say Adams can't run with the Kings. I think he could. People say he can't. I've seen people like not want Adams. And none of these guys stretch the... Well, Vucevic and Horford stretch the floor. And that would be the argument for signing one of them as opposed to trading for Clint Capela or Steven Adams. Now, my thing with that is I don't think your starting center needs to stretch the floor. Personally, I saw people jump on me when I made my video about this on Tap2K. People told me, oh, your center has to stretch the floor, and it's imperative that you have to have a center stretch the floor in today's NBA. I don't think so. Obviously, I think it's imperative that you have a center on your roster that can stretch the floor. I think you need a center on your roster that can do those things, or a power forward that can jump into the center spot for 15 minutes maybe and jack up some threes if you need it, or whatever. You know, if you're playing against the DeAndre Jordan and you have a center or a power forward that's nimble enough to play center and take someone like DeAndre off the dribble who's not going to be able to guard you because, you know, like someone like Brook Lopez, could you imagine DeAndre Jordan closing out on him for a pump fake, and then Brook Lopez pump fakes and steps over the side and shoots a three? You know, someone that can take advantage of the bigger centers that can't exactly move great. Obviously, you want that on your team. I'm not saying you don't. I think that's where people didn't understand what I was saying. What I'm saying is I don't think you need that out of your starting center. I think Clint Capela would be perfectly fine on this team. And look, he's cheaper than Vucevic, cheaper than Horford. Allows us to go after Tobias Harris if we wanted to. Allows us to sign Harrison Barnes and still have plenty of cap space left over. I think Clint Capela is the best option for the Kings at center. Now, I know a trade is more than likely not going to happen. I understand that. I'm not trying to talk like anything's set in stone. What I'm saying is if the Kings can get Clint Capela, it will be probably the best move they've ever made in terms of free agency or a trade, or, you know, I mean, obviously we got Buddy Hield in the DeMarcus trade. What I'm saying is the Kings all of a sudden trading for Clint Capela and him being our new starting center, that's not something the Kings do. The Kings don't just do that. They just don't. That's just how it's always been. So if they did that, it would be shocking, and I would love it. If we got Steven Adams, I'd love it. He's making, I think, a little more than Capela, but still, I wouldn't mind, you know. Hey, as long as we don't have an old center that's going to be jacking up threes, because I don't think that's what we need. We needed rebounding the most last year. We needed rebounding badly, and Willie wasn't giving it to us. And the last thing we need is our center out in the three-point line. We just don't need that. I'm sorry, but I don't think we do. Plus, Bagley's a rebounding god anyways. So if we need rebounds, have Bagley get them. I mean, if we're gonna have a stretch center, then Marvin Bagley's got to be playing in the post. Marvin Bagley can also be stretching the floor. Someone's got to be getting down there getting rebounds, because the amount we jack up shots with the Kings, the amount we shoot threes between Bogdan and Buddy and De'Aaron and Bagley was shooting them last year, Bielitsa. We need rebounding. We need to get these offensive boards, and we need to have somebody down there. We can't have all 5 guys on three-point line. We just can't. I'm sorry. So that's the video, guys. Clint Capela to the Kings. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. And I'm excited, guys. Free agency's coming up. If you guys have any topics you want me to talk about, any suggestions, leave a comment below. Like the video if you liked it. Subscribe if you're new here to the channel. Thank you for watching the Sack Tone Breakdown. I'll see you in the next one.